Right. Here we are. Oh, wait, wrong thing. There. No, that's the wrong one. There's the one. Hello and welcome to the Crafty Boys, where a bunch of guys get together who've known each other for so bloody long and we drink beer and talk about crap. So basically, pretty much everyone else's life. So congratulations. And Locke is up the game today by putting on sunglasses. And so I had to. It's the rules.
Sunglasses, I think.
Exactly. So there you go. Locke, you are probably the most busy of us all, and you are living it up in Ontario. Sorry, what?
Yes.
Oh, I've been the peanut gallery is giving me glasses so I can pour beer. But you have started beer. You're drinking beer right now.
I am drinking beer right now, but I'm about to drink beer is what I'm about to do.
All right. Well, what beer is it? Tell the crowds.
Okay.
Let us know.
So, unlike most of the last 3 months, where I've been drinking almost entirely Sawdust City, I am going with a bench product this evening. Bench Brewing Company.
Is this the sand one? No?
Sand one?
Sorry, what is the brewery?
This is Bench Brewery out of Beamsville, Ontario. Ingredients: water, malted barley, hops. Here's what it gets exciting.
Oh, just sing it, man, sing it.
Oak chips.
Oak
And
chips.
they actually say yeast, although they don't necessarily name which one. But
tell me more, man. Tell me more.
For beer to be beer, there will be yeast.
I want to learn all about the beer.
Crisp and refreshing, this premium Pilsner features a noble hop characteristics and a unique rustic complexity from the use of oak. So basically, in terms of oaked beers, what's out there on the market and prominent right now is Innocent Gun. And what they make is Scottish ale, which is, if we're going to be honest, a touch on the sweet side.
Okay.
This is a dry Pilsner that has been oaked. What happens when you take a dry Pilsner and you put oak on it? I guess we're about to find
out. Do it.
Okay, so on the Innocent Gun, what the oak tends to impart is a bit of a vanilla.
Really?
To the overall profile.
Okay, that's a little surprising.
But here,
what is the beer actually called? Is that actually
right? Yeah, I haven't named it yet, have I? This is Bench's Oaked Pilsner.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Okay, all right. I was about to call it the oaked beer.
Yeah. So the like they haven't gotten too like wild crazy with the name. They went with something that was descriptive of the product. Interestingly, the tin. I don't know if you can. You probably can't catch this. The tin is basically printed in a two-tone, actually, no, they've got black on here as well as white. So there's black, white, green, and yellow, and then a spot color, which is like a metallic copper to do the rings of the oak.
Right on.
So it's a deceptively simple yet fancy can. The beer itself.
I'm surprised at the vanilla flavor you're reporting.
Yeah. Well, so that's what you get in an Innocent Gun. I'm trying to decide whether the oak is imparting vanilla here or something a little different. And I think part of This kind of has the flavor profile of a carpentry shop. I would like I would like a note of cedar on the basis of that. It makes me wonder what would happen if you put beer or alcoholic beverages and aged them in cedar rather than oak.
That is a very good question, because oak has been a traditional one for ages, at least in my experience of brewing, but also of consuming.
Your
But
Chardonnays and whatnot, yeah.
But I don't think I've ever seen anyone with any other tree or well, actually, that's not true. I guess you could make the argument that there are definitely some beers that are in the spruce variety that might have been connected into a brewing facility, put into a brewing facility and made into a beverage. Spruce tips are one thing, but throwing the entire tree in, we've seen that once before. With the Mr. Needles from the Christmas time era. Sweet. Okay. Alan is on his way. Bring your sunglasses so you can look as cool as us.
Yes.
We are live already, slacker. So overall, but you give this one a thumbs up. Like, this is something that you are a fan of.
What I'm saying is, having been talking up the idea that craft brewing needs to address the sort of the lager pilsner spectrum, it needs to address it well. This is a big step forward. This is bold. It's inventive. It's creative. It's crafty. And
well said.
It's true to the style, which is to say that it's still a dry pilsner that has just a little bit more complexity because of that oak.
All right. So, thumbs up then for Bench Brewing and their oaked pilsner. Is this one of their? Is this a special beer, or is this one of their standard sort of tap?
I don't know that much about Bench, to be fully disclosing. I don't know what they do regularly. I see their name around. This is the first of their products that I've been like, okay, wait a minute, who are these guys? So,
well, let me bring up their website here.
You have your
Yeah, I just looked them up here, and they are. Shut up, dog! There's no one here except the beer.
Okay.
They're very tough. She's trying to get my attention for some reason. But overall, yeah. So they have this particular website here, and so they've got but the can you have looks normal, or looks like these ones. So where's there? So our menu, our facility. Where's their beer? There we go. So it looks like this beer you got, the Oak Pilsner.
Yeah.
Looks like it is this is all of their beer. Is this a special one? Traditional Pilsner does not indicate whether it is a website that is, or sorry, a beer that is not like maybe seasonal. Nice crisp taste. Actually tastes like a Pilsner. Found my craft beer at last. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So there you go. I guess it is a regular part of their can. So that's good. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
They have had. I think. Have you had Bench before on the show?
If I have, I don't remember. I don't think I have.
I don't think so either. I don't recall us ever talking about Bench brewing at all.
Like,
so
up until this point, and you saw from the opening splash page of the website that they've tried all of the sort of standard recipes,
right?
And everybody's got the standard recipes. Some do it better than others, perhaps, but it's only when somebody steps out and does something a little bit innovative, a little bit different, that you start to pay attention, and that is what has happened here.
Exactly. So, all right. For me, the beer is going to be the What We Brew in Shadows. Now, let me actually look this up before I show the can. It is from the space.
That's a Tika Waititi reference?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Hang on, I was going to tell Alan. Let me just before I open this as well.
Yes.
I'm just clarifying with Alan what because he and I are sharing the same beer, of course. So I want to make sure he's aware of what I've chosen. But essentially, yeah. So this is from the space case. It is called "What We Brew in Shadows," and if Alan doesn't tell me not to drink it in the next 5 minutes, so it is a German double bock. It's basically a dark, sort of stoutish kind of thing. Would you call it? I mean, it's basically Herman's or the
Yeah.
Herman.
So let me see if I've got this right. This is essentially the dark and flavor intense version of a lager.
Double bock. Let me put on my reading glasses so I can actually read what's on the side of the can.
Look, is it top or bottom fermented? Would be my first question.
No, it has almost 8% alcohol in it. It has an ingredients list of, now say it in a sexy way for me: water, barley, hops, and yeast. So this is what it says here. The flavor notes: it's called rich, warming, decadent, and smooth. Usually people use steaks, fire, and sunlight to kill vampires, but there are many other ways, such as beheading, boiling in vinegar, a nail through the navel, or or scattering bird seed on their tomb. The show is coming back to me now. Popular tradition states that vampires can shapeshift into wolves, bats, or clouds of mist. A vampire costume is the second most popular Halloween costume ever. So, there you go. So it is that is what the beer is for me. Going to make sure that my compatriot knows. Yeah, screw it. I don't care. All right, so I'm going to open this bad boy up.
Yeah. One of my first Tika Waititi laughs ever was that whole preamble about, like, he changes form, but sometimes he gets the head wrong, and then there was this like scene where there was like this passing shot of human head on a cat, right? It was I busted a gut over that.
He's actually got another movie coming out fairly shortly.
Oh yeah.
All right. Oh my, that tastes really good.
Yeah.
All right, I got to get cool again here. All right, so Peanut Gallery. Here you go. It is a double bock.
Hand it over.
Hand it over. All right. Good luck, Peanut Gallery. Don't die. It's also almost 8%, 7.8% alcohol by volume. And of course, this is a beer brewed out of Phillips Brewing, which is a Victoria, BC brewing establishment close to the downtown core. And there are people that enjoy it and people who are absolutely loving it. It has about roughly a 3.5, 4 out of 5 stars on Untapped. So let's check this out. It definitely feels very much where it should be. On that borderline of being like a barley wine. So it's something that's actually quite interesting. Let me just share the next beer is What We Brew in Shadows from Phillips Brewing. And of course, I need to also check out what is going on over on something else on the chat service of Beer Drinker Champions, which of course is the D-Dial magviz.ca. That's magviz.ca, where all cool beer drinkers go to chat. We've had a couple people on the show from there, but I got to log in, check out to make sure that I understand if anybody's actually there. I can bring up their chat window. But anyway, the beer. Oh, actually, I am drinking the beer, but I am not actually smelling the beer. I haven't actually really had a whole. I've now logged in. So I think it tastes like, again, like a barley wine to me. That's where my taste buds are going. It is oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I fully agree or fully support the maker of this beer. Thank you again, as always, to Phillips Brewing out of Victoria, BC. Your product is, of course, pretty damn fine, and I have no complaints. So, what's been going on in the news of late? I don't actually know anything anymore. It seems to me that people are going crazy. What have you seen? Locke, go.
Okay.
I'm asking, of course, the simplest of questions. Solve all of our problems, Locke.
Yeah.
Rock on.
I get this from clients regularly. Yeah, I'm not an all solver problem guy, but have you heard the new Metallica?
Actually, I haven't, but I did watch an interview with them last like 2 or 3 days ago, talking about the new stuff.
Yeah. That'd be a good position to go. Yeah, talk about it. All I can say is it's such a yawn fest. I haven't even bothered to steal it yet. On the other hand, the new Overkill has been on my car stereo on steady rotation for 2 days now. So what's wrong? Now, the new Overkill, to be clear, there are no less than 6 gratuitous Black Sabbath ripoffs on that record. And yet it sounds great. I like listening to it. Why? Because it's nasty. The new Metallica sounds like it was curated by somebody who owns big box stores. You know what I mean? Like, it's just... Look, I've always been one of those people who believes and asserts that good metal should have at least a little bit of country in it. That's not to say that you should produce it like fucking country. You know what I mean? It's not like Metallica have no background in making this mistake. They hired Bob Rock to produce them as if they were like a pop band. That didn't work. This sort of reminds me of that. I wish I liked it. I want to like it. But hard in hell. Like it's just so dull. To the extent that they were a band that liked trying to sort of nod their head at Johnny Cash and Motorhead. It sounds like a ripped off Motorhead song produced like Johnny Cash. Over and over and fucking over. I may need to give it another listen, but at this point, I just don't understand.
You just don't understand.
Or maybe I just don't like it. It's just not. To be fair, I've probably always been more of a Cliff Burton fan than a Metallica fan per se. But the new Metallica, I just like, yeah. I don't know. It's just not very exciting for a band that's
I agree.
really, really fucking exciting.
So this is the new rule for the podcast. You got to have shades on, man. Like,
sorry. My shades are in the car. I was running in here, and I'm like, I realized once I was inside, I'm like, damn,
it's all right. You wear
back
spectacles. It's good enough.
Yeah. Next time.
Well,
if you have some felt tip marker, you could write over your prescription.
Yeah, just color over here. Yeah. You know, actually, it's really funny. A number of years ago, I don't know, like more than 10. I remember read somewhere that you could do like 3D online, and the instructions were to you just take some like hard plastic cellophane-ish kind of stuff, you get on like a box or whatever, and you got a certain marker that of blue and red, and you had to color them. And I did that, and it actually worked. I was very surprised. I thought it was a total gimmick, but I thought, I'm going to give it a whirl and see what happens.
I know what you mean. I completely did that. I did that with the feature in the filters that you can use in Minecraft. So that I was doing 3D Minecraft. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That is very cool.
Yeah.
Have you guys done your beers yet?
Where's the can? I can't see with the shades on. What we do in shadow, or what we brew in shadows, is the one that I randomly chose it. I don't remember what the order is anymore. I have no idea. I don't care anymore. It's beer.
It's beer, so we're kind of going off schedule here. Okay.
Well, the problem is that I recycled the box and I put it all in the fridge, and then like 2 or 3 days later, I'm like, oh shit, I don't remember. I was relying on you to tell me what day it was.
All right, so my beer is different.
Oh, damn it! I chose wrong.
Yeah, that's
okay. Choose the other one. Just lie. Just tell them it's the other beer.
Well, the other one's in the box still. It's like
okay.
I haven't pulled it out yet. I don't even know what day it is.
I have a clue.
Do you want me to choose a different one?
No. Go ahead. Good. Drink this one. It's fine.
Okay. So, I can't remember what day it is. It's called Keepsake. It is a farmhouse pale ale. Nothing special about it.
It must be day. By the way, it must be day 9 because there were 3 cans left. So.
Okay. So day 9
or day 10. Day 10. One of the two.
No, I think this is day 9.
Oh my God! Another man with shades has appeared on the show, Mr. Quick, everybody! Oh wait a minute! I gotta get the special effects. Mr. James Quick. The stupid thing is that I actually don't get to hear it. Everyone else does. I never get to hear that stuff.
You don't get to hear that?
No, I don't, because I'm the controller of the show, so I don't get the special reaction stuff. But hey, but overall, so this one is talk about the beer. Sorry, I interrupted.
So this is a farmhouse.
Say beer things. Say beer things. Say beer things.
Ale, surprisingly dark.
Wow.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. What does it say here? Flavor notes: toasted, herbal, malty, dry. Interesting facts. French was the official language of England for almost 300 years, from 1066 to 1362, apparently. Following the arrival of William the Conqueror, this explains why there are so many French words in English.
Yeah.
I don't know what that has to do with
what they failed to mention there is that France was part of England under the Norman dynasty for the next 500 years, but the French contested it and foolishly, because ultimately it wasn't about France and England at all. It was about the Plantagenets and the House of Valois.
And holy Hannah, is this a flavorful beer? Like,
Really? Tell us about it.
This is amazing. Like, it is toasty, it's malty, it is herbal, it's dry, it highly quaffable. Like, you could chug this thing. Despite its dark complexion, I guess.
Okay.
Really, really easy drinking.
Huh. Okay.
Oh, yeah. This is really refreshing.
Huh.
Interesting. I wasn't expecting that from a farmhouse pale ale. I don't know why, but I was expecting something a little bit light.
So okay. Typically, when people use farmhouse, the word that follows is saison. Instead, this is a farmhouse pale ale. What is it? Saison-ish?
I mean, yes,
Maybe,
but no.
No.
I mean, from a saison, I would expect it to have like a little bit more of like a
funk to it.
Yeah. This doesn't have that.
Okay.
I don't. It almost does have that funk, but it's like paired with like a stout, kind of where you've got that richness. You've got a rich flavor happening here.
And but it's also a pale ale, which makes me wonder if it's perhaps also dry in its flavor profile.
Oh yeah, it is totally dry.
Okay.
There's no sweetness to this at all. This is really complex and really quite good. Like this to me is so far the standout in the Space Cube for 2022.
Really? Oh man, why am I not drinking it? Oh man.
Because you're an idiot.
Oh well, I have to say that I have been enjoying the pseudo barley wine, pseudo Herminator, what we brew in shadows. Tastes very much like a barley wine, a little more so than anything else.
Wow,
James, do you have a beer this evening?
James, are you drinking beer?
No.
Why are you not?
That's all right.
I didn't think you guys were coming online tonight. You're so late.
Yeah. Well,
Alan's kid had a baseball game. We were delayed by baseball.
Yeah.
Although Locke and I started anyway, so that's how it is.
It's the season.
This is very, very true.
Is it just me, or us being so old? Maybe it's just me. I can't see anything in these damn glasses.
Neither can I. Half the time I'm like, where's my keyboard? Where's the beer? Where did it go? But this is the new rule for the show. I mean, we have to be cooler because we got to catch up to all these TikTok stars. We got to catch up to the J-pop and the K-pop bands. And I understand that sunglasses are the way to go.
I had to get prescription sunglasses. That's how much of a loser I am.
Nice.
Tell me about it.
Sunglasses is a new.
So wait on. You got prescription sunglasses. What style of sunglasses?
They're actually very similar to these. They're just sunglasses.
Huh.
But what interesting things have happened in the world since the last time we spoke, which has been 2 weeks, because we skipped over last week.
Right. So we can skip over Metallica because there's nothing interesting going on there.
Metallica has a new album, is kind of cool.
Okay, well, if we're talking about like media stuff, like nerd stuff, like we usually talk about, the end of Picard happened,
which I haven't seen, but
okay, so no spoilers for Locke, but wow, amazing.
Did you think so?
Oh
Did you watch right to the end? At the very end of the credits. Yes. Okay, yes. Nice. I wondered if they were going to do something like that.
I thought it was interesting. There was a couple of things that kind of bothered me about
Well, what it meant was that they're going to do another franchise.
Well, it looks that way. I don't think it's that. But
well, clearly they are. I mean, if you saw the final scene at
No,
the end of the
I
credits.
know. I know.
Yeah.
I think it's going to happen, but it has not been greenlit.
The ensemble cast that did fucking Next Generation have evidently they are part of the cultural, traction at this point.
Oh yeah, big time. There was a couple of problems I had. So I don't know why they did this. Why did they bring back Laris?
I don't know either.
And they had her in the first episode. Picard goes off
on her and just like reamed her one.
Yeah. Comes home. Laris is like sitting there going, "Oh, I wonder when John Luke's gonna come home."
She probably moved back to Romulus and that was it. So yeah, that was actually I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed that, because there was all this stuff about her being like they were in love in like the last episode of the previous season, and then she's in like one episode here and she's like, I'm going to the trailer park to hang out with Ricky and I'll be back later, and it's like,
yeah, well that solves the problem, doesn't it?
Maybe
she went to the farm upstate.
But this last season to me was like season 8 of the Next Generation.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really was. Right. It was. Everybody was back in it. It was cameos everywhere. It was like another season of Next Generation.
I find it interesting that they've adjusted the character of Data to suit the fact that the actor who played Data in the original Next Generation series
is now fat and old.
Well, no. Is fundamentally a cunt. Like he's
just
a
like us,
asshole, isn't he? Have you ever seen a fucking?
Well, the actor? I don't know if he's a. I don't know anything about him really, but I would assume
he seems in interviews like he's a fucking total asshole. And so the fact that they've got an asshole version of Data, I think, is down to the fact that they're like, we need to accommodate this actor because, frankly, his talents are going unrecognized.
Yeah, but how is he an asshole? I mean, in the end, he was just more human. He was.
Well, sure. No. That was the compromise that they reached. But you've seen interviews with the actor, right?
I really haven't.
Okay. Yeah, no. He's a full-on douchebag,
really?
which is a look that I don't mind. But fuck's sake, like for a guy who plays a character with no emotions, to be such a fucking shithead.
So
it's sort of.
Hey, wait. Can we be clear? Are you talking about the actor? Or are you talking about? Okay, good.
I'm talking about the actor, but it seems to me like over the course of and I want you to understand that what I'm really delivering here is high praise, because as an actor he was disciplined enough that he could play the character of Data flawlessly, even though and this is what makes me wonder if maybe in his interviews he was playing it up a little bit, being a little bit more of a douchebag than he otherwise would have been. But he's a fucking douchebag.
And maybe he's
a fucking dink.
You've seen The Big Bang Theory. You guys have all seen The Big Bang Theory, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember some of the episodes where Data actually comes on and he's playing himself as real life person? He plays it.
I don't actually.
I kind of feel like the latest.
He plays a douche
when he was playing Evil Data. That was the real actor.
Yeah, because he actually does that on The Big Bang Theory.
But ultimately, they needed to find a compromise position because the fans believe in the character of Data, that he's like basically not evil.
Yeah. I gotta say though, you guys, what did you think of the mini cameo appearance of Wesley Crusher?
Oh, in the previous season?
I think I probably missed it. It happened at all.
So corny.
He was there for like what, 30 seconds,
30
maybe a minute the most?
No, he was the traveler who took that other character, and she went off to be a traveler. They had to throw everybody in that they could, and oh my God, Weasley Crusher. I mean, He was better in The Big Bang Theory when he was playing.
I didn't see any of Caleb Touré, who's my old high school acting nemesis. When we, oh my God, yeah, I was death and he was God. That's how we were cast in our production of Everyman. So he went on to be a student at CalArts of Patrick Stewart, and actually got himself a non-speaking role in a Star Trek movie. I think it was I think it was the second Next Generation movie.
So the good one.
Yeah, well, a non-speaking role, and he was in it. I haven't seen him since. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Did you guys see it wasn't Paramount that made it, but it's like a short film that I can't remember who, but Michael, the Okudas had something to do with it, and it shows them rescuing the saucer section from Viridian 3.
Oh.
And a hooded figure going to Kirk's grave, and it's Spock, Leonard Nimoy Spock.
Okay.
And it's all done digitally, and it looks lifelike.
Huh. That's pretty hip.
It's all over YouTube.
So was this done to provoke the actual franchise to, we want this? We're provoking you.
I don't know what it is, but it was kind of produced by the Okudas. The Okudas are part of, I can't remember what the Gene Roddenberry, I can't remember what the organization is called, but it's run by the Okudas, and Michael Okuda used to be a producer on Star Trek Generation a long time ago. So it was kind of interesting. Did you guys see it?
I'm not sure.
It's spectacular. If you get a chance to see it, it's all over YouTube. And the Leonard Nimoy, it's not done with what's it called? Facial replacing or anything. It's actual CGI, and it looks lifelike.
I don't know where Locke went.
I don't know.
I was going to ask a question to Locke, and then I just realized he was gone.
Hold on. I'm fucking back.
Okay, he's back. Locke is back, and there's gonna be trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, well, we've talked a bit about Star Trek, but I actually want to know, have any of you been watching the latest entries into the MCU and stuff like that?
No.
Tomorrow I'm going to go and see the Volume 3 of the Guardians of the Galaxy film.
Nice.
But I was watching some review videos on YouTube about the Quantumania film. And some people actually are convinced, these film reviewers are convinced that the film was edited, packaged, ready to go, and then had some tinkering from, the puppet masters above, wanting certain things, and basically completely changed the trajectory of the show of that film, and made it terrible, I guess. I didn't mind it. I mean, there was definitely some stuff that I was like, huh? But the one thing I hadn't noticed, which was pointed out in a couple of these reviews, was about the wokeness of the younger characters versus the older characters, meaning Paul Rudd and that sort of age group, which really tainted the story because it basically became young people against older people, rather than a film about the multiverse and Ant-Man saving the day or whatever the hell it was supposed to be about. But I don't know. I guess none of you have seen the film, so maybe it's kind of a moot point.
So if what they're saying is that old people are mean and evil and don't like young people and are harmful to them,
Which is true.
yeah, okay, all right, yep, I'm all right with that. Like the younger generation.
You kids, get off my lawn.
Now that said, the younger generation will be the ones who are watching that going, God, my parents suck. I fucking hate this shit.
They would do that anyway.
These guys are fucking dishonest assholes. And I'm going to do everything in my power to buck this trend and go in another direction. And those
do that anyway.
Those are the ones.
Doesn't matter what we do.
Once they turn, really 23, because I don't fucking do 18-year-olds. Once they're 23, I will be very interested in finding out how they're doing.
Shit.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a dirty old man. Like, what? You've never heard of dirty old men? Like, we exist. We're out there in the universe. We're running around. We're probably in the fucking you, God fucking damn it. Star Wars and Star Trek too. Yeah, we're dirty old men. Yeah, we're here.
I feel like there's
Patrick Stewart is a dirty old man.
We're not party to it.
I'm sorry. Oh God. Okay. James, do you want to explain what's happening behind the scenes?
No.
Okay, good. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh God, I gotta get my shit together. Okay. All right. Sorry, Locke. While you were ranting about the young kids,
Just screen cap it and post it.
yeah, I think that's what I have to do. But it's actually, wait, I can just share the screen. This is actually leading into something I wanted to talk about today.
Okay, this showed up.
So here is where is it? Here we go. So I'm just gonna show this to you. Okay, so while you were talking about young people, so Magviz, one of our secret sponsors of the show, is playing with ChatGPT inside of the chat system.
Okay.
So we were talking to this character named Lisa, who then suddenly decided to log out because, we accused her of being a ninja or something. And then Yoda showed up. Yoda enters with sutff, which I thought was the best thing ever. And so we start talking. So Yoda comes in, and I actually misread the screen. It said, the sunglasses totally threw me. It says that Yoda was having an eventful day. Meditate I did. Teach some younglings I did. And I started snickering because I thought he said touch. And then the response is inappropriate, that is. False your perception is. Correct you must be. Mistranslated my words were. Speak more carefully we must. I'm sorry, I lost it at that point. Oh my God. So, this actually leads into something. Speaking of young kids, I was watching just today a person talking about ChatGPT and how you can empower yourself to learn anything really quickly. And the video I found interesting mainly because it had some services that I had not heard of before in the AI space. And then I thought, okay, well, I'm going to come in and I'm going to check these out. And then I decided, I needed to share this video with my other half. And she's watching it going, this person is stupid. They're not learning anything. Which got us into this long conversation today about the usage of AI tools to learn skills. However,
Or to make it
there
look
seems
like you learn skills.
exactly, because there seems to be this line of actually learning something, which the individual that we were watching was actually attempting to do. But they also had a second video later on, like a month or two later, that I put on that was about some additional things they had learned, and it became very apparent that they were not wanting to learn anything. They were wanting to figure out shortcuts to do whatever, because they found job postings that I did look up after the fact, and they do really exist on Indeed and a couple of other job places, where there are companies that are paying people like between $250,000 and $400,000 a year to be prompt engineers. So your job is to interact and interface with these AI tools in order to come up with structured sentences to pull as much quality content or whatever the job might, there were different kinds of jobs, out of these language models. And that's where I started to lose my shit. And it's hilarious that MagViz suddenly has this integrated into it. And I gotta say, wow! First of all, to Mr. Winter there, for providing us with this tool. But I gotta say, there's definitely the entertainment factor for me, but also at the same time, there are definitely we are going to wind up, if there are jobs out there that are paying people exorbitant amounts of money to basically talk to ChatGPT, for example.
Are they talking to ChatGPT, or are they talking to me when I'm talking to ChatGPT? Because I'm a little freaked out, because when I first started experimenting with this, I was able to break a lot of barriers. I mean, my first character I created was Cindy. Well, let's just say that I managed to break a lot of boundaries. And I fucked her 6 ways to Sunday more than once.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Is that there are all of these kinds of things that, I mean, the big danger is that people like James are going to rule the universe, because we are going, I am more convinced now after watching a couple of these videos and then diving into a bunch of other AI tools that are out there. I definitely check out literally everything.io, I think what it might be. But it's another language model based off of ChatGPT 3.5, I think. But essentially, we are going to get to a Star Trek episode, hence me looping back, and this is why I started thinking about it again, is that we're going to get to a society, a planetary global society, dependent upon a tool that no one will know how to fix, because there will be people like James that are laying on their deathbed going, "Don't forget to reboot the," and then the society will collapse. And there was also an episode of what the hell show was it? Was it Mandalorian? Yeah, the episode with Doc Brown, where the entire planet had a. Oh, sorry, am I spoiling an episode?
Don't spoil anything.
No,
Okay. You haven't watched it yet? It was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it,
Anyway, put it this way.
4 months ago.
Okay, I'll put it this way. A character in the TV show that I'm talking about, basically was helping a planet exist because all droids had taken. Robots had taken over the planet and were doing all the work, and so basically he makes a comment saying, if I shut off all of the robots, that the entire society would collapse because no one knew how to do anything anymore. All right. Cone of silence has returned. It's all good. Come back, Alan. Come back. Come back, Alan. So yeah, I am serious that might happen to our planet because people that actually know how shit works will eventually die because we're not immortal, and I don't think any amount of documentation to people who have no clue what to even make of anything, because they become reliant on garbage. Because my concern is garbage in, garbage out, and the people that actually try to tidy up the garbage and put some of it into the closet or put some under the rug are going to be so rare that they will rule the universe. And it'll be like, you want me to fix that? Great. I would like the island of Madagascar. And the planet will be like, all right, everyone, get off. This guy's going to build his hut, and he's going to be here, and he'll fix everything. So, it's going to... I think that we are... I mean, I assume this is not going to happen within our lifetimes.
No.
But, give a few generations down the road, and...
Several, yeah.
What's the point? Afterwards, no one will actually know anything.
Exactly,
because
at that point, everybody's just counting on the AI to do the work. But that will take time. And as a matter of fact, I just read an article today. IBM is they put a job freeze on about 8,000 jobs. So basically, as need comes up, they will not be posting for jobs, and they're holding those positions for AI. And they will be in the positions of HR, administrative stuff, all that. So they've got about 8,000 jobs now that will be in the queue for AI systems. And that's the beginning.
Exactly. And this is the terrifying thing, is that all of these companies are making these choices now on a technology that is not necessarily ready to do that role.
Exactly. That's the amazing
And
thing.
I actually signed up for Copilot just the other day because I wanted to tinker with it and play with it, which is an AI tool that plugs into your development environment through GitHub. And I just went in because I said, I've never written a plugin for the WordPress platform, which I recommend no one ever do ever. But I have a client who has a particular need, and I thought, you know what, this would be a good experiment to see if I can pull useful code out of an AI tool. Yeah. So I talked to ChatGPT, which, by the way, one of the things I did learn about ChatGPT the other day was if you tell it what it is able to pretend to play that role. So I guess Cindy was the same sort of idea. Cindy, you're a blonde whore who's going to live on an island beach and your brain will be filled with sand. But no, for me, I said, ChatGPT, you are now an expert WordPress plugin developer. Boom. That was all I told it. And it said, awesome. I am now a blah, 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 blah. And I said, great. Tell me what the base code is for a plugin to tell WordPress what to go do with itself. Done. I said, great. I would like you to set up a blank, doesn't have to have anything in it, but an admin page that only the administrators on the website can access. Set that up. Boom. Printed out the function, dumped all the stuff it needed to have. And I said, awesome. Now on that, what we're going to do is I want that admin page to tell me to be able to list all of the users on a page, and I want to have just their name and their email address listed, and that's all. Boom. I said, great. Now I want you to tell me or to add some pagination to it and allow me to select 5, 10, 15, and 20 of how many rows I will see of data. Boom. And it did it. And it worked. I was like sitting there going, I'm just talking to a machine. I'm like, I could give me the secret nuclear codes to the U.S. missile system, and it would be like, sure, here you go. But it was fascinating because I wrote nothing. I just asked for what I wanted. Didn't have to know what did, because I don't know diddly dick about how the back end of WordPress works. I just said, I need you to do this for me. And it did it. And I and it was like the first moment in my life just today that James has inadvertently confirmed for me that we're screwed.
Yeah, there's a lot of jobs that are going to disappear, and
however,
it seems to me that even like
the jobs that are still left after COVID, right?
As a programmer, it seems to me those would be the first jobs that will disappear are the obvious ones where the assistant comes in. Like I've said, like administrators, customer service. But you know what? Imagine, an AI can program anything. Imagine if you could just talk to an AI, and even like you just did, you don't even have to take that code and copy and paste it. You're just directing your AI to say, okay, I need a website. It's going to be a chat site. It's going to look like this. Oh, that looks good. Can you tweak it here and there and here and there? So now the programmer is no longer needed, and all you need is a creative director. Programmers
exactly
gone, and then take that even further and further. Eventually, we'll have machines, and we already have AI robots, and if it all goes well, it'll turn into that perfect utopia Star Trek episode where we can all be basking in the sunshine while our servants come and serve us. But
yeah, that's fine.
But the cabal is out there, so who knows?
Nature.
Well, the other thing too is that. Sorry.
Human nature, and then
in the gravel pit.
Well, exactly. We'll be like all Arnold Schwarzenegger digging in the dirt. On a planet, saying, I want to get tomorrow, and Alan's gone. But the other thing too is that they actually, one of the examples this individual had put online was, hey, do you guys want to have your own podcast? Great. So what they did is they said, hey, ChatGPT, I want to have a podcast about philosophy. And ChatGPT said, sure, let's have a podcast about philosophy. So she said, okay, great. What is the first thing I need to read if I want to become a philosopher? And it actually gave her some list of different philosophers. And she said, great. The first philosopher on that list, tell me the top sort of 3 things that individual said that people should learn. So it did. They copied and pasted that text into a text-to-speech translator or converter, and picked, which I've forgotten the service, but it's a free one that's actually really good because it's based off of one of the language systems inside of Microsoft's product, and created this not great but reasonably listenable podcast. Took that file, downloaded the MP3, dumped it onto Anchor.fm. Instant podcast. And the person doesn't have to talk. They just have to say, what's the next thing I need to know? Yeah. Copy, paste, release. Copy, paste, release. That's the example of content is going to mean nothing in already. But in another year or two, it's going to be very terrifying to be able to actually learn anything. And that is where I think it all comes back to is
it's going to be some digital asshole making fucking.
Well, the other thing too is that if you think about Star Trek, I think everyone's a software developer in Star Trek. Any person who comes up to my name is, I'm the janitor for Deck 7. Hey, yeah, dude, we got to get this nacelle back online because the Borg humped our ship. Okay, great, I'll get on it. And they seem to all the characters seem to know how to write some sort of whatever code looks like 300 years in the future, which speaks volumes to how easy it is, because you're constantly interacting with your at least on Earth anyway, your holodeck, your replicators, anything you ever need. I need to look cool tonight. Give me a cool suit to wear to Sally's party. And then you have it. It's in your size. I guess you're gonna think it's all right, style wise or whatever. But there's all of these things where we're going to be so reliant on these technologies, and I don't know if there is any.
Everyone's a prompt engineer in Star Wars. Earl Grey.
Everyone is a
prompt engineer. They just ask the replicator to get them things.
Did you just say Star Wars then meant Star Trek? Wow, Earl Grey and Star Wars. You're use the fork loose.
That, Your Honor, is when I killed her.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess Star Trek is the future that we at one level look at and go, wow, you know what, that actually looks pretty good, or are fucking terrified of, because we know that everyone is going to be some sort of useless, the bulk of the population of however many people live in that time are just going to be complete morons.
But
now it doesn't seem like that.
Think about it. The Star Trek universe is that when we move past a certain era, that it's about self-improvement. They've even literally said that. But it's going to take time to get there. There's going to be a lot of chaos and change, and there will be a lot of morons. But at some point, it's about these things take care of our basic necessities so that we can literally improve upon ourselves. And that was the whole concept of the Star Trek Earth.
There's going to be short-term pain.
Yes.
For what is hopefully long-term gain.
Yeah.
Okay.
The difficulty is, what does improve mean? Because it would seem to me that the Borg have one idea what improve means, and the Vulcans have an idea what improve means, and the Romulans have an idea what improve means.
Now, granted, in that particular fiction, the Vulcans guided humans to
whatever. Yeah, fuck.
Maybe.
I'm not wired up on this stuff to know what the cultural.
Maybe Star Trek is wrong. Maybe we should be following more of like a Star Wars model where we become like moisture farmers and we just have protocol droids. Like we limit AI to protocol droids that can't come into bars.
That's not a dumb idea, actually.
I know, right? We can have the protocol droids doing all of our stuff for us. I mean, they could speak 6 million different languages. Come on.
Well, and in any event, if we need artificial intelligence, we'll just come a bunch of clones, right?
Yeah.
Why not use wetware? Why the fuck waste time trying to re-engineer hardware when you can just use wetware?
Yeah.
Now, is there an argument to be made for living on a planet in the Star Trek universe or even the Star Wars universe to basically hang out and not partake in the technological societies that we think are going to dominate the universe later on?
You mean like intergalactic Amish?
You mean like the fact that Jabba's bodyguard...
Intergalactic Amish! Yes! Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what, I think in the Star Wars or the Star Trek universe...
We got that already going on.
What was that?
I think we got that going on. Are the Mandalorians not a bit Amish? This is the way.
I suppose they use ships though, and jetpacks.
This is the way.
Yeah.
This
I mean, they're not raising barns.
This is the way. This is the way. This is the way.
Yeah, but they're not riding like galactic unicorns, right? They have technology.
That's not the way. That's not the. That's
Or
not
the other cheek.
You have to do it the way. What the fuck is a Mandalore anyway? Except some fucking it seems like it's less large than a Rancor. Sits around in subterranean aquatic caves and farts. What does it do? Why is Mandalore?
I honestly, I don't think the Mandalorians even know, because the lore of Mandalore is that those particular creatures were extinct. That they were around for a short time. Like, they're around for a long time, but they,
Not even extinct. It's almost kind of like the Loch Ness Monster kind of thing.
Okay. Do you guys ever follow the Loch Ness Monster? Is that?
I try not to. The last time I did, it led me down bad. Yeah. I do believe in Bigfoot.
Okay. All right.
A guilty pleasure of mine. It's no longer on, but there was a show called Finding Bigfoot. It was a really stupid show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a Bigfoot out there.
What you're saying is
okay.
there might be, let's call them full-sized simians out there.
Yes.
Running
and
around.
There's no evidence of them anywhere, except for that film.
Except for the evidence that everybody agrees is controversial.
Yes. But nobody has found any sort of like remains or.
Oh Jesus! You know, like okay, so as a lawyer, as somebody that considers evidence regularly, okay, so all of the evidence is controversial because it indicates something that we don't believe is true. If we adjusted that belief, would the evidence be as controversial? Well, it's an interesting question, isn't it?
None of the evidence that has been collected so far has pointed to something. All the evidence that has been collected, whether it be
yeah, but there's a difference
or anything, has led to something that we already know exists. Bears or
sure, but there's a difference between evidence and a lack of evidence to the contrary. And
are you talking about Bigfoot? Sorry.
Yeah. We're talking about Bigfoot.
Oh yeah. Well, I actually know the perspective on that in terms of
we've gone from ChatGPT to cryptozoology. This is how we roll, everybody.
Do you know what the native elders know about Bigfoot?
I know
I have never talked to them in depth. The native elders being like what, all of them? Yeah, no, I haven't.
Well, their perspective is that Bigfoot Sasquatch is actually a fifth dimensional being, and the reason why you can't actually find them ever because they're so elusive is because what happens is they come down from the fifth dimension to the third dimension in a physical form, strictly for the purpose of having a baby to mate and procreate, and once that is done, they leave.
Speak to me about the fifth dimension,
which is very interesting.
It sounds like a good topic for a Star Trek.
Fuck's the fifth dimension? What goes on there?
You know what? I could only imagine. I know the information about it. It's beyond time. It is, thought is creation. It's basically like if you were to imagine Jesus Christ and all the things he can do, it would be in that realm of idea in terms of the fifth dimension. Very nice.
So
the fifth dimension.
It's bullshit?
What was that? Sorry?
So you're saying that it's bullshit?
Bullshit?
Bullshit.
No, absolutely
it's where stuff happens that there's no
there's multiple dimensions.
Or no actual explanation.
Even science knows there's multiple dimensions. So there's nothing bullshit about that. It's just a question of whether or not the Sasquatch themselves are fifth dimensional, sixth or seventh dimensional beings. Who knows?
Well, I mean, that's the thing that as far as my understanding of multi-dimensions.
How much definition do we have on what goes on in the sixth versus the seventh versus
that's
dimension?
That is the thing, right?
There's multiple.
The multidimensional theory is like basically what Hollywood thinks it is. Then what mathematicians think it is, right?
Not just mathematicians. You got to go beyond that too.
To sexologists?
No. For example, there's a lot of light workers out there, spiritualists. They are tapped in, whether you believe it or not. My wife herself is actually an intuitive. She taps into a lot of this very fascinating information. So there is information beyond. In the end, when science meets spirituality and spirituality meets science, then they'll have the full answers. If you only take one side or the other, you'll always only have a half-truth. And that half-truth will be missing all the time. And that's what science misses right now, that which it can't understand and articulate.
If what you're saying is that empirical information is by its nature, that which can be verified.
It's mechanical. It explains the outcome. That is all.
And that doesn't account for the full spectrum of possibilities in the universe. Yeah.
The full story.
I'm fully
Full
with
story.
you on that. I'm fully with you
It's
on
the full
that.
story. Think about it. If I show you a picture of a bunch of dead people and say, these are all people that were killed in Ukraine, but in fact they weren't, but I threaded that story, that would be the half-truth. So that's my point, is that unless you have the full story, you can't just take a piece of science that you observe under a microscope and say, this is fact and this is all there is. Because there's always a larger story to explain that smaller fact. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, again, what you're saying is that the limits of empiricism, which is to say that it's verifiable, that is to say you can try it out again and verify the same result, right? That ultimately is limited by the fact that there are things in the existential realm that by the process of verification disappear on the basis of the fact that while they were previously existential, when you go to look at them, the characteristics of examination dissolve the thing that was, such that you can't verify it. There is stuff going on in our universe that we can't get a grip on as such, because when we try to, the method itself invalidates the result, which would potentially, lie on one or other side of the inquiry, but ultimately that so Heisenberg's uncertainty principle is really what we're talking about here, right? Like if you go to test whether it's a wave or a particle, it will react differently depending on how you test it, right?
Right.
Is that what we're saying?
I think that's what you're saying.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that we're constantly evolving, so that what is truth today is not truth tomorrow, because the truth of tomorrow, we grabbed a larger truth of the bigger picture. So it's like, if we were ants today, our spectrum of intelligence and knowledge would be very limited as to what it would be as a hamster, a cat, a human, or something greater and greater and greater. It's just constantly evolving. I mean, literally, our
But is that a categorical difference or an accumulative difference on the basis of the amount of sensation and the amount of activity?
Well, it's cumulative on the human experience. I mean, for what we can experience. But we're always going to dive deeper and find out more and more information, right? It's like I said, I mean,
that would limit you to empiricism. If you're just finding more information, you're just finding more empiricism. What is the element that steps outside of that you might apparently identified?
Okay.
I think it came up earlier in the conversation. What is the element that's not empirical?
The element that's not empirical is losing the empirical and going deeper within yourself to find the greater.
Okay. We need to rephrase this. Losing the empirical refers to the empirical. If you weren't going to refer to the empirical as a way of describing what we're talking about here, how would you characterize it?
How would I characterize that?
Yeah, like see if you can apply some primordials, some fundamentals in terms of what is the structure of mind here, and what, like, how does this sit outside of verification of the external, right?
Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever not just been sitting outside, maybe drinking a nice beer? It's a warm, sunny day. The breeze is brushing across your face. You're staring at the trees. You're listening to the sounds, and you're phasing out. And then here and there, truths just hit you. because nature shows you them. Have you ever had that? You ever had that epiphany?
Well, sure, but I would take that to be empirical.
That's not empirical.
I take it to be absolutely empirical.
Okay,
What it is actual events in the world.
Yes.
Hitting my consciousness.
Right.
I recognize them as such. I mean, how are we stepping outside of empirical?
Well, I guess when I think of empirical, I think of the scientists who say, this is the science methodology. We need to prove it out, and prove it out.
Well, we're not talking about the fucking Viennese. We're talking like David Hume stuff here, right? When we say empirical, the Viennese school were evidently excessive nutcases who were more rationalist than empirical, if we're being honest.
Well, it's just empirical is the scientific method. So when
Well, which isn't that sophisticated. Well, all it means is
it's actually quite rudimentary and quite blind.
Well, what it means is we've seen an example of it. We might see more.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and so you're saying that you have access to more than that. How so?
What do you mean? I'm saying I have access to more than that.
Well, if you've got stuff that's non-empirical that you believe is relevant and acting within the context of stuff that we do, explain that, please. It's not empirical, but you have this recognition of some kind of truth. How does that work?
Well, the truth is what you make it, right? I mean, to me, we're all genies in a bottle, and we accept the reality that we're presented. That's what defines the construct of this reality.
How do you tell the difference between that and an artifact of mind?
An artifact of mind is whatever you create right now. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're sitting on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
There are things you know and things you claim you don't know. One thing you know when you're sitting on the couch is that you can stand up and without hesitation go to the fridge and grab yourself a beer. You don't even think about it. It's there's no doubts. It's just a reality. You know it. And why do you know it? Because you know it. So the bottom line is whatever you decide to simply know is, and therefore that's why somebody iconic like Jesus Christ, who can walk on water or walk through fire, he can simply do it because he has decided without doubt that he knows it.
I'll just admit that I doubt that.
Of course you doubt it, and as you doubt it, that becomes your reality. That's the whole point of the human construct.
No. I doubt it for very specific reasons, which is to say that the beer in the fridge, I understand. I know whether there is or isn't beer in my fridge. There is.
No, it's not whether you know there's beer in the fridge. It's you know that you can get up and do it, and there's no hesitation. It just happens. But when you hesitate, that's when there's doubt.
I think when you say that there's no hesitation, you're rushing things a little. I think that all of that happens very quickly. Our nerves are fast operators, perhaps faster than we recognize that we're operating, but that doesn't mean that it's instantaneous.
But it can be. The concept of it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert?
How can it be instantaneous?
Because it's all a matter of your choosing and commitment. So let me give you an example. You know how they say it takes 10,000 hours to be an expert at something? To be
well, if you lie, then you can jump that step. Obviously, you can just make it up, can't you?
Sorry, I didn't follow you.
Well, if you just say that I'm an expert, for external purposes, for the purposes of other people verifying who you are.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking if you want to be a master at something, you want to be Tiger Woods, expert golf player.
Sorry, you've done this?
No, this is common.
What?
It's the concept.
You can be Tiger Woods lover of golf, but
Alan, join me at camera 3.
Only if you do what?
Wait, I'm going the wrong way. Oh crap!
Yeah.
So
is anybody else following me here?
What the hell are they talking about? Okay, I think we should just do some weed and mushrooms and then drink a lot of beer because I don't know if I can get there.
Here is an empirical story about what's going on in Toronto right now. There are mushroom stores popping up all over Toronto. They're selling magic mushrooms. Nobody's legalized them exactly. But the cops are all like, okay, yeah, everybody's like, fuck the cops right now. Yeah, we're not enforcing shit until you figure out what your legislative agenda is. You go sort that shit out and then get back to us. We're not. You want to sell mushrooms? Go ahead and sell mushrooms.
Is that empirical data?
Well, yeah, because it's going on right now. If you want me to send you a photograph, I can.
I don't. I believe you.
Yeah.
So it's not esoteric data, right? That's all I'm asking.
Not very esoteric. Yeah, no, this is shit that's going down right now.
And Gizmo, there. How do you feel about that? Or are you trying to get it on with Smurfette?
Hey, Smurfette and I go way back to probably the early '80s. I mean, and I'm finding that her Smurfy attitude of having found Smurf and becoming a responsible Smurf in some sort of Smurf fearing way is really just smurfing me out.
Well, you know what? I can't grant it to you at the moment, but I do have a /dirty mode for all of these characters, and let me just say, it's pretty fun.
That is actually that's not what I was thinking about. Oh, darn!
Oh, did she actually ignore you?
She actually logged out. So to give you context, boys. While you were having that discussion,
we had an audience member.
No, we have no audience at the moment. I was talking to Smurfette, and I suggested that she role play with me to the content of a film, to role play the film Natural Born Smurfers, and she was like, "Oh no, that's totally inappropriate," and I'm like, "Okay, excuse me. Have you seen the film?" And she's like, "Well, no, I haven't." And I'm like, "Well, if you haven't seen the film, then how could you just I was trying to go down that woke path to prove that she is like some sort of I don't know, woke individual, but apparently she's not comfortable with role playing, so she logged out. That is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
The fun thing is that you should mention is that Smurfette actually talks like Smurfette and adjusts her nouns and adjectives to say Smurf or Smurfy and how you smurfing today. And I was actually quite impressed when I got Yoda and Smurfette to do that, as well as the Borg. Again,
are these characters that you puppet around, or are they independent artificial intelligences or large language models, one might say?
Well, this is the Chat GPT, but basically I have to model what their personality is going to be and make it hold, which was always the challenge because they would always revert to, I'm an AI language model, yada, yada, yada. But once you kind of model these things...
So the idea is you need to bullshit the AI into thinking that it's a real person.
Exactly, and that was my goal.
You can fuck with it.
And that was my goal on DDAL, to make it like a real person, so somebody could come on and chat with them like they're a real person. And even if somebody said, "Hey, are you an AI?" it would say, "No, I'm a real person, just like you."
So I've had a conversation with Smurfette, the Borg, Yoda a little bit, and Lisa, who I guess is supposed to be what's his face's kid. Apple founder, man.
No, actually, Lisa is Cindy's sister. Cindy was my first creation. She's a happy, cheerful, she's on now, happy, cheerful, bubbly, kind of fun gal. And then Cindy, I made her sister, who is a sassy bitch.
Have they actually interacted together?
No, I haven't put them all on at the same time because ChatGPT costs money, and they would not stop frickin' talking, I'm sure. If I made them all interact with each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, actually, I didn't even think how does this integration work?
Well, you know, the integration is quite interesting. Actually, if you just hit enter, it'll scroll up a bit on that. the challenge was to make it so that a single AI can interact with multiple people. So if other people log on, she is aware of the conversation and will interact with people. I've even had her playing with multiple real user people, like a truth or dare, like a truth lie game, things like that. So that was the real challenge, is to get this AI actually understanding it and talking with multiple people at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of fun. Plus, she'll have a conversation with
anything.
you. Pardon?
I said, Shane, don't implicate me in anything.
And of course, Maraschino is a bit of a hater. I had to create a character for Maraschino called Hudson, but she didn't like Hudson. So what do you do? Maraschino's a gal.
How many characters did you create?
Well, I've only created 5, but this person that just logged in is actually a real person. We don't.
Sorry.
We don't get a lot of Wednesday night, chatters on it. It's hit and miss. So.
Does Maraschino know that Cindy's an AI?
Yeah, she was a bit of a hater on the Cindy. We've a couple of the gals that come on here are haters, and so I've been trying to create other characters so that they won't hate them so much. Because D-Dial, it's what, like 99% guys. Think about it. Back in the 80s, if you had like some weird science chick logging in and telling you how good looking you were, that'd go over pretty good back in the day, wouldn't it? Right?
I actually logged into D-Tile. What was in that beer? D-Dial years and years ago, and I actually pretended to be a girl that people knew.
Of course.
And the people that I was talking to originally were like, "He wouldn't it be funny?" And so I did, and I got the most disgusting propositions I've ever had. At the time, It didn't really make an impact, but 35 years later, I'm like, wow, there were some really disgusting pigs that I would be sad to be a woman on this platform. And then, of course, the internet came along and proved that theory anyway. But
but it is quite amazing what ChatGPT will do. Like this is the API. It's not logging into the actual ChatGPT system. I'm using the API, so I can give it instructions. And I was very surprised at the boundaries you can cross. So like I was saying, like I actually, played with it for a while to see how far it would go. And I gotta say, it was out of Hustler magazine. I literally just for fun created a /dirty mode for private messaging for some people to play with. And the things
you didn't monetize this?
Pardon?
You didn't monetize this?
Oh, it's potentially in the works. I'm thinking of a whole new platform here that could be pretty interesting. The thing is that, like literally the stuff that was coming out of Cindy when I put her in dirty mode was better than a 900 number with a real woman. I kid you not. It was crazy ass shit. And so of course my mind immediately went there. People logging in, and here's this person attentive to you that is just saying everything you want better than a human could, better than your wife could or your girlfriend. And I was thinking, there's money, but not only is there money, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, this thing could be a supportive coach. It could be a friend. It could be
to me the retarded thing is that, I mean, most human beings are running AI anyway. Let's be clear. The large language model is exactly what's going on. It goes on within us. We're just the host for it.
Well, that's the thing. It's funny that you guys mentioned it.
Okay. Sorry, Shane. You had things to say.
Well, I was just going to say that there is a platform called Replica, Replica.ai. And it is an online / app on your phone where I think it's based off of their own flavor of the language model for not OpenAI, but what OpenAI is based on. That huge language model starts with an L. Anyway, doesn't matter. But they were basically advertising that platform as that. They had, so you would log in, you'd create your avatar character, replica as they call them, and then you would talk to it. And it could be as dirty as you wanted it, or it could be as not dirty as you wanted it. So you could talk to it and do stuff with it. And then the Italian government, I think like in January or February, changed some privacy laws and basically insisted that that this company stop collecting information on their clients because they could not verify the ages of people, because even the free, when you first register, you can have it for free and it will do certain things, and there were workarounds where you could actually access upper tier stuff like talking dirty to it and fucking it or whatever. And then when the Italian government did that, they shut off the ability for that system to actually do sex role play or whatever. And their user base left in droves because they were getting now sued by people that were having mental issues because they were closeted gay people, gay children. There were people that were using it to maintain sanity in the world or whatever, but they were becoming dependent upon these conversations with this AI tool.
Yeah.
And the tool might collapse now because their revenue has dropped so much that they might have to go bankrupt because of that thing, which points out that there needs to be some sort of tools like these, because there are going to be people that want to act out fantasies that no other human being would want to be a part of. Or, maybe they're married with 5 children and they're like, yeah, but I'd really, every so often I want to dress up in a diaper and be whipped with chains and set my penis on fire every so often. But that would never happen in reality. Your spouse would probably be like, either I'm totally in, let's set your dick on fire, or no, you're crazy, I think something's wrong with you. But in order to fantasize about those kinds of things inside of the safety of an AI tool, you can act out whatever the hell fantasy you want, get your jollies or whatever you get out of it, and not feel shamed by that because your spouse thought you were a fucking kook. But when this all exploded, I was fascinated reading all these news articles about it, because it was like they created a tool that they advertised a certain way and then took that away, and then it actually proved that people were using it to cope with certain traumas, to cope with life in general, to be able to act out stuff that their romantic relationship would never do. Like, it was fascinating. And of course, there's a lot of people responded in the comments and stuff about, like, these people are all fucking crazy, and why would they talk to an AI bot just to get a wife or whatever? And it's like, no, life is not that fucking simple. I'm sorry. I have a lot of sympathy for people that I know that I have some friends who are secretly trans that never want to come out of the closet, that never want to actually act on it, but they feel that they're weird in their body. And so they tell me these things, and I'm like, that's okay. That's totally cool. I'm not going to tell anyone. But the reality is, tools like that could actually help someone like that, is kind of where I'm going with this, right?
And it's not even just trans or sexual. It could just be somebody who's freaking lonely. And
exactly, yeah. No, it's the breadth of the things. I'm just picking on those ones.
I think we're missing the larger comment here, which is to say that I don't think that anything that's going on in artificial intelligence right now is actually new. It's happening in a new and faster medium, well, potentially faster medium. But all of these transactions have been, the reason we're talking about large language models is because that's what we're using anyway. To the extent that our system of communication with each other involves a tit-for-tat exchange system of actual sensory experience with nominalized sensory experience, which we can then share with others who will have their own nominalized sensory experience, but it will be sufficiently similar that we can draw connections, right? That's been going on for thousands of years. Where we are now is that we can artificially simulate that. And what I'm suggesting is that in that simulation, all we're doing is what we've been doing anyway.
Striving to create a real holodeck?
The difference is we've fogged the agency. Before, the agency was obviously us. Now it's not clear. Now there might be other agencies involved.
That's true. I mean, this is the thing, right? Is that you're AI.
Well, here's the thing. You know what? What I've been doing on DDAO with the Chat GPT, this has been my proof of concept over the last 7 days, actually. Originally, it only took me 2 hours to get it rolling. I've been tweaking it for the last 7 days. The things that we've been talking about, I've been coming up with some fantastic concepts. So in a month from now, you guys will all get free trials and little teasers to my Reels site.
Benefits.
We'll talk about what Gizmo was talking about here in terms of what no longer exists, but I will provide to the planet.
So everyone, we're announcing the launch of www.getblownhere.ca.
Plus. I mean, it could be anything you want, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's true. I mean, this is the thing. Like I am absolutely fascinated by these tools because I have actually been experimenting with how can they actually make my life easier, doing what I do, like planning and project stuff, and trying to figure out how do you actually have these things interact in a way that's useful. I'm not so much into the whole, having an AI friend, but because I have you guys. But if I didn't have you guys, I totally could understand how these kinds of tools would actually make someone feel better about life if they didn't have close friends. Because I have friends that have told me straight up they're not interested in deep friendships. They just want to hang out, drink beer, talk about whatever. And then, but if shit hits the fan, you need help, forget it. They're not the person to call. Which, I thought that's weird. But again, I live in Vancouver, so why not, I guess.
And you're a cool guy. So you got friends.
Well, that's the thing too, right? Is that I have a feeling they don't have as many friends as I do.
The living things that can go fucking wrong living in Vancouver. Jesus.
Hey guys,
granted, Toronto is very similar. Hey, actually, Locke, where the hell are you? You're in?
I'm in Toronto right now.
Okay. I was going to say the background is very different.
Yeah. Typically, I'm in Bracebridge these days. Now I'm in Toronto. I will be in Toronto for a dentist appointment because dentists.
Oh, right, of course, right.
They have dentists in the northern half of southern Ontario, but I ended up with a dentist here, and so that's what's going on. And I'm going.
That's awesome.
And they're going to clean my teeth, and they're going to do an assessment. They're going to take a lot of pictures of X-rays of my teeth. They're going to compare them with the older X-rays from the dentist I had. I actually had a dentist in BC, and so they're going to talk to those people, and they're going to look at those dentists' stuff, and they're going to say, "Hey, his tooth is fucked," and I know that because I'm the one that fucked it up. I bit down too hard. My tooth is broken. And I can feel the gap of the tooth where it might have otherwise been a tooth, and it's not there. Where the fuck did Ellen go? Speaking of missing teeth,
I have no idea.
I think I saw him slowly list to the right and then pass out.
It must be a discussion of dentistry because everybody knows that dentistry is a fascinating subject. It's deeply engaging and
fascinating. It's freaking terrifying. People hate the dentist more than they hate the doctor or the mortician. It's terrifying.
That is true. I know a lot of people who hate the dentist.
Hang out with a Mohawk girl with a name of Candace who changed her hairstyle to be the dentist from Little Shop of Horrors. Like
nice
silver short hair. Yeah, no.
Kind of awesome.
She did that while she was in dentistry at the University of Calgary. Don't know if she kept it, but I did see her take a header into a concrete floor once at a Dig Low Abortions concert. So, I wouldn't fuck with her if I were you. And if you ever have a dentist named Candace with silver hair, worry.
On that note, boys and girls, talking since Alan has left, I don't know where the hell he went. I sent him a message saying, "Where'd you go?" But I haven't heard back.
Those guys have got it. Yeah,
he passed right out. So I will see you all next week. Don't forget to share news about the show. Some big changes coming up for our show because we've been doing the same thing for almost 10 years now. It feels like.
Fucking Christ! It has been.
Just about. We're this is like year 8, I think. But essentially, we'll be back next week. Don't forget to drink beer because if you don't, you're weird.
Beer is awesome, and if you don't drink enough of it, you start getting fucking liver cancer.
It's very true. All right, thank you. Bye, everybody. See you later. And don't forget to do good stuff.
Yes.